All right. Woo! I'm telling you, SCOTUS has has shaken up the United States and has people rethinking a lot of things. People are like, I don't believe that just happened, right? And it's causing people to question some things. And when I say people, I'm talking about heritage Americans because what you know. Okay, before I get to TPS, I'm just going to say a little bit about this birthright citizen. Man, woo! I'm telling you, on TikTok, people are making videos and are pissed. They are pissed. Got Megan Kelly coming out swinging. She's like, I mean, she's just really going for it. Now, they're like, oh, she's a racist. She's a racist. Okay, whether she's a racist or not, right? I'm not going to debate that. But whether Megan Kelly is a racist or not has nothing at all to do with her feelings on birthright citizenship and how the Constitution has been stepped on, trampled on. Now, I've done videos talking about birthright citizenship and how things and who it applies to. President Trump even said who it applies to, right? Made it quite clear. But however, people are like, well, I don't care. I don't care because of this. Now, when you really stop and look at the Constitution and how it has been applied wrongfully, wrongfully applied, it's been then you have a disruption, right? Now, don't get it twisted. It's not going to stop deportation. It's not. Birthright citizens, as far as people that are illegal. Now, I think Trump went too far when he said, "Oh, you have a green card." No, that's not what the Constitution says. Both, I think Trump went too far on that. That means that you could come here and stay here 2 days and get a green card and boop, 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 boop. The Constitution never said that. It never said that. But let me first go with what I was going to start off with, and that right there is TPS. Oh, 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 man. This is wild. This is really, really wild. Now, what I find interesting is that you have organizations, they're talking about Haitians and Syrians. Now, I don't come across too many Middle Easterns because they just simply ignore you, right? Thank you for letting me in, but screw you, right? But however, when you are dealing with people from the Caribbean, the diaspora, Central and South America, I mean, Latinos, Asians, uh, they really don't bother you too much unless if you go to the stores or whatever. And I find commerce one-sided on that part. But temporary is temporary. The- Temporary is temporary. And then when you have people like, oh my God, Trump's a racist and he just don't want me to make it. And and when I came here, I was planning my life. Like, wait a minute, wait. We came here on a temporary visa. Some Haitians came here during the what do you call it, the earthquake, and they're making plans to never go back, but never change their status while they were here. It was like you didn't even protect yourself. You didn't protect yourself at all. But how and I'm not even going to get into the disrespect and how Caribbeans, and I'm going to say Caribbeans because they have a lot of fighting amongst themselves. However, they have a lot of disdain. And I'm not going to say disdain, hatred towards Black Americans and tell you you don't have a culture, you don't, you're drug addicts and you're prostitutes and you're all, and they're looking right at you, and they're looking right at you and saying it. Now, Haitians haven't said anything like that to me, but Africans, oh, oh my goodness, West Africans, Lord have mercy. It is awful. They come up to you and have this like this 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 innocent look, but it's so diabolical. Well, you don't have a culture. I got a culture. My culture is great, and you don't have a culture because your language was, your language and religion was taken away from you, and blah blah blah. What? Wait a minute. Wait. Everything. Woo. It's crazy. But back to TPS. Trump is only reinforcing what he was allowed to do. That's it. In a nutshell, reinforcing what he was allowed to do. Now, that went back to Bush second, George Bush, the son, who created TPS to bring people in. Now, I did a video maybe about 3 months ago, and it was quite interesting when TPS started and whom they brought over, right? They brought over the Somalians, the Ethiopians. Later on, you had the Afghanistanians. They were over in New Jersey, places like that. Um, oh my goodness. The Somalians and the Ethiopians were placed in Minnesota and other places scattered all over the place. The Haitians are namely down in Florida and New York City. You have some scattered around the United States, but the bulk of them are in Florida, outside of Miami, around that area, and then over in Flatbush in New York City, in those different boroughs. Keep in mind, that was a temporary fix. Now, I'm going to put it like this. And some of you may get pissed off at me and unsubscribe, and fine, I understand it, right? I understand it, but I'm just going to put it where it is. Now, when you bring people from an underdeveloped country, Haiti is an underdeveloped country. You may not want to hear that, but it is. When you bring people from an underdeveloped country and then you bring them to a developed country, they can never go back. I'm going to say it again. They can never go back because you gave them a lifestyle that they didn't have. They didn't have that. They had what they grew up in, and that was it, right? Then you take them out of that, and then you put them in a place to where it's fast, and everything, and then you can have so much excess that you you cannot imagine yourself going back to where you were. It's like this. You're used to eating steakums, right? And you were fine with steakums. Put steakums in oodles and noodles. You get some lo mein, put some oodles or oodles and noodles and put some steakums in it. Make your own little lo mein, whatever you want to call it. Then they take the steakums from you and then give you a T-bone steak. Delicious. Cooked on both sides. Then you put it in the oven, put some chicken broth. You cut it up, put rosemary and whatever things you want else put on it, a little drop of butter, let it bake. Man, you're not right. You there's no coming back from that. There's no coming back. And when people leave Haiti and come to the United States. It's like I can't go back there. I can't. That's why people are fighting so hard. I, I'm building my life. I'm starting over again, not and having children and buying cars and houses you're not done paid for. Then all of a sudden, you have, well, Trump said, well, it's time for you to go because it was temporary. And then you're like, wait a minute, wait, you got barbecue over there. No, 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 I don't want to go. And it's all black Americans' fault. I mean, man, it's nuts. It's nuts. Wait a minute. It's nuts. It's crazy how they're sitting there making videos about black Americans calling us racist and reverse racist, xenophobia, and all this other stuff. Now, not looking at heritage Americans. No, you're not looking at Trump. You're not looking at him at all. You're not looking at the people that are pushing the policies. None of that stuff, right? I find that mental gymnastic things is quite interesting. Hey, how you doing, Vaughn? It is insane. It is insane. It is. And 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 I'm going to say something. I'm going to branch off just a little bit. Now, with the TPS status, now you get an ID, get a work permit. That's it, right? That is it because your status is just that temporary status. Now you may find a lawyer say I'm not going back to that and I'm going to fight this and then find a sympathetic judge, Judge Cho, over there in it's on the east west coast. Oh, not California, not Iowa. I can't think of it right now, but he was sympathetic, and you find that sympathetic judge and giving you extensions, right? Here's a kicker. Here's a kick. Wait a minute. Oh man, I have people tell me I work hard. So does everybody else. That is what you're supposed to do. No, no, no. You black Americans, you're lazy, you're drug addicts, you're criminals, you're on Section 8, you got all these babies. I'm like, how many children do you have? How many? And you're working where? You're doing what? And you work hard. Get the hell out of here, right? Oh, wait a minute. I don't have a culture. What? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. However, when you look at the jobs that they do, and I have had a Cameroon, yes, I'm talking about you Cameroonians, tell me this right here really tripped me out. If all the TPS people are sent back, the economy is going to come down. Squeeze me? The economy is going to go down if you get rid of the TPS and the illegal immigrants. It's going to shut the United States down. Okay, let me ask you a question. Let me ask you, what jobs do you do that are so vital that only Grant said uh, Trump blucked us? I'm gonna get to that. I'm gonna get to that. What jobs do you do that are so vital that illegal immigrants and TPS people can do it, right? And I'm asking him. He's like, well, we do. We work at hospitals. Well, and where else? Uh, um, and I can't remember exactly what he said, but I'm like, look, those jobs that you're talking about, you're saying nursing. Nah, there are some that are nurses. Yes, there are some that are nurses, but the vast majority are not nurses. They're not. Home health aides. Now in DC, every home health aides are Africans. Africans. They're either Nigerians, Cameroonians. Look, you Cameroonians got a funky attitude. Oh, it is so funky, like you're supposed. Period. And please stop showing that same blue house and saying that you're rich. Having a house will make you rich. It gives you debt, right? It gives you debt. Cobbs, hey, how you doing, Cobbs? How you doing? It gives you debt. But but a lot of the jobs, okay, if you really take a look and be honest with yourself, not because you hate Trump so much that you're going to overlook the things that are going on. Like you love Biden or Kamala Harris, but you're not looking at the policies. Oh, let every illegal immigrant cross the border because they run the United States and they're going to do the jobs. They're going to be on what do you call it? Do agricultural stuff. They're going to do this. They're going to do that because Americans don't want to do it. BS, right? I call BS. Then they say that they're vital, right? When I go to Popeyes, don't tell anybody that I go there, okay? When I go to Popeyes, right, or McDonald's, I don't see any Americans working there. Not one American. Not one. Like Americans don't want to do jobs like that. I mean, those were the jobs that I remember back in the 80s, 90s, and the beginning of the 2000s, to where that's where teenagers got jobs before they went to college or working at college to start their careers. Now you can't even do that because you have people that work hard, and without them, the whole economy is going to crash, right? I'm just like, look, Cameroonians, and you have Caribbeans saying the same crazy stuff. And so then when I say this, okay, and I get into a lot of uh, I call it debates, but then they get all emotional and cuss me out. Say that's why Black Americans, uh, um, uh, they say all kinds of crazy stuff to me. All kinds, and come back and say, "I'm coming back to work for your mom." Like what? You got some issues, right? But but they, it's wild. It's wild. You can't make it up. And then they come back and try to refute what I'm saying. But no, Black Americans, you're also going to get deported. If we get deported, you're going to get deported. It's like, who's telling you this stuff? You listen to some crazy liberal. You listen to some crazy progressive liberal that wants to turn the United States into a communist state, a communist country, never been to one, but have a fantasy in their head with tulips and daisies of what communism looks like. Yeah, you, right? Yeah, you talking all that crazy stuff. Now, and I don't know if any of you ever had these conversations with, especially illegal immigrants. Oh man, they got a whole lot of vitriol and hatred. Now, when I say to them, I'm like, okay, so the United States is going to fall apart without you. What did you do in your country that made it so great? I'm waiting. I'm waiting. Oh, well, the government is corrupt, so we can't build it. What? You came to the most corrupt country in the world. We take over countries. Well, not we, but the, the United States government took over Venezuela. They went, we can't make this shit up. They go over, take Maduro and his wife. Like she had whatever going on, you know. Uh, I am, I think Amiel, uh, they sold this country to foreign nationals and people who have no negotiating. Yep, I did a video about like 3 years ago to where they were firing Americans, right? It doesn't matter the color. Forget about the color. Americans, we come under one, right? One. Out there in Tyson's chicken, they They fired, what was it, 22,000 people and hired 44,000 um, illegal immigrants. Most of them were children working with dangerous stuff, with chemicals and going into cold warehouses and storing stuff. But say that Americans are lazy, Americans don't want to do the work. No, you're firing Americans to pay people a little bit of money. Give you an example. I was telling my mother's aide that said, well, well, you ought to have Black Americans doing these jobs. I said, well, Black Americans did do these jobs. Also, white Americans too. Americans were home health aides. But however, you had to have an associate's degree. That was a bare bone minimum. And plus, they did more. They weren't doing the cooking and stuff like that. No, they were literally taking care of the patients, giving medicine, taking high blood pressure, all that stuff. It was like it was actually nursing within the home. But then, especially in DC, and then you had people from Nigeria, Cameroon. They start these home health aides and then underbid, underbid everybody. Oh, IML. Okay, no problem. It's all right. Um, underbid everyone and then only hire Africans and Caribbeans. I haven't seen one Latino. I haven't seen one Latino. I haven't seen one Asian. I haven't even seen what do you call it? A Ukrainian, right? They don't hire them. They only hire Africans. And most of them in these what do you call it? Companies are Cameroonian. Oh man, you Cameroonians are terrible. Cameroonian business owners, you run around and steal from your own people, and they are supposed to be getting about like 20 to $25 an hour. These people are getting like 16 $17 an hour, going back and forth between Maryland and Virginia. Whoever gives 50 cents more. I mean, it's nuts, right? And then they lowered the standards. Some Oh man, it's just a damn mess. I mean, they don't cook American food. Some work for 5, 6, 7 years doing home health aid and 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 cooking. They don't have. Well, that's not my culture. I don't eat that food. I'm like, you're not supposed to eat it. This is your job. You want me to teach you? Well, you're supposed to know it. You applied for the job. I mean, it gets nuts. And plus, oh my goodness, broke four of my vacuum cleaners. Four. What? It's a mess. But let me go back. Let me segue back over to where I was talking about before I just rant about what's going on with me, right? So, so they're talking about these jobs. These are the jobs that they're referring to. Now, how is that going to break the United States? How is that going to do that? How? We got what, 350 million people. Now, if you go to Honduras, Guatemala, El Salvador, Nicaragua. I'm missing one. Guatemala has 7 million people. Nicaragua has wait a minute. Vaughn says Trump does not have your best interest in mind in his heart. He is there for the benefits for himself and his fellow Epstein class. That's every president, not just him. Everyone. Why is okay? Let me just say this real quick, and I'm gonna go back to what I was saying. Every president that has um, become president, right, came out richer than they were when they came in. Not just Trump. Look, I know. Okay, I know it's easy to not like Trump. I get it. I get it. He is an easy person to dislike. He makes it way too easy. I understand that. But look at the pot. Okay, Vaughn, Vaughn. I'm going to go into some things, and I want you to stay, and I want you to hear it. Okay, just listen to what I'm saying. Okay, when I get to the birthright, and I'm going to get into that and give you some more information. Like I said, it's easy. It's easy to dislike Trump. It's so easy to. I get it. I do. But these are the jobs that illegal immigrants and TPS people are talking about, and then people that hold green cards and people that are citizens, naturalized citizens who have no fidelity to the United States. And that's a huge problem. Justin White says, is Trump innocent? And what? Justin, and what? Vaughn says, I don't hate Trump. I call it like I see it. I know you do. I know you do. Okay. You're not like him. With the files. Okay, I'm gonna do another video about the files. Okay, I'm gonna do another video about that because a lot of people ask about that, and I talked a little bit about it, but I didn't get deep, deep, deep into it. There's a lot of information out there, and if you really want, okay, I'll say this to you: look up the Alfalfa Club. Look that up. Look up when they meet. Look at the people that go to the club and the after party. Because last year, Muriel Bowser, the mayor of DC, the most powerful mayor in the United States, went to that Alfalfa Club. And the deal that they were making, you need to pay attention to that right there because there is so much going beyond. And Trump is the only president that has never gone. Now, you may say he's such an insider. How far inside is he in? Is he at the door? Is he under the threshold of the door? Or did he put one foot within? Mel said, my father met someone who said that he hires illegal immigrants because they can pay them without pay him what he wants and it can't complain about it. You ought to ask what he did to the Irish back in the 80s. Forget about now. Talk about what he did then. I mean, man, look, he's a businessman. Businessmen are notoriously cheap. I mean, they. Man, how do you bargain with somebody selling water out on the street? Instead of paying $1, you're too cheap. You give them 50 cents. To talk about that at 50 cents, it's ridiculous, right? But that's him. He's a businessman, notoriously cheap. He doesn't pay people. Say, well, hey, you catered for me. Use that as currency. You'll get more help. More contracts. He's a jerk. I'm not denying that. I'm not denying that. There's a lot to dislike about him. There is a lot. But however, look at the things that benefit American people. Now, I'll talk about that later. I'll talk about that later. Go ahead and put something in there about TPS and birthright citizenship. So, with me having said all that, right? Saying all that, it's not what the TPS and illegal immigrants lead it to be, right? They're going to get deported anyway. They are. And now Congress and the Senate passed, what was it, like $700 billion? A lot of money. They are serious. They are real serious about deporting people. Right? Vaughn says the tweets benefit the American people. Um, yeah, just stop and think. And it's juvenile. Okay, maybe, maybe. I tell you, he keeps his staff busy. He keeps his staff very, very, very busy. Now, Let me see what else could but just look at that. Now, what I find interesting, because I did this video about 6 months ago, and I was talking about people that come here, they send money to their countries, right? And those of you who know me know that my ex-husband is from a different country. So I understand this. I understand this pretty well, right? I understand the mindset. I understand why people come. Email said, I'm worried about the internet ID bill that passed in Congress. Okay, that's something I need to look into. Now, this is something that they do not do. Now, what they do is they take money and they send it home. Now, I used Honduras as an example. Honduras has I think 6 million people that are there currently right now. 6 million people. The United States gives Honduras, the Honduran government, I think 87 million dollars a year. Now, $87 million, and then you got what, 6 million people. Now that right there should do it. Now, 1 month, they get $30 million. The money goes into the country, right? It goes into the country because they're not working. They're like, I'm going to go to America and I'm going to work and I'm going to send money home. And that's everybody outside the United States. I mean, it's something like my ex-in-laws. It was like I was sending money because somebody was always next to dead, hospital. It was always something every month. So I'm like, look, wait. This gotta stop. Somebody needs to go to college because I know you have universities there. I know you have trade schools. I know I know you have a form of education down there. I know you do. You can't tell me you don't. You can't tell me that, right? Because I could Google the University of El Salvador, the University of America, whatever it is. Bond said we spent $100 billion on the Iran stuff for Ireal, a country of 9 million people. Yeah, so far. Yeah, and guess what? Is this going to be? There's a lot to that right there. So much so I have to be careful how I talk about it. I got to be careful. So so they send money and then they make the people there, right? They take the money and they spend it. And they don't understand how money works. It never occurs to them to demand somebody to go to college. And they're like, well, I'm kind of afraid of what my family will say. What? You what? You're over here working and you're spending their money and then they're pressuring you. I'm like, get the hell out of here. I'm like, really? They're like, yeah. And I'm like, so you're working two, three jobs, and you're telling me over in Cameroon there are no jobs. There are zero jobs. I know I said Honduras. I know I did. Honduras gets $30 million a month and $2.2 billion a year just from the people that moved here, right? What sense does that make that that country of 6 million people gets $2.2 billion and it's still underdeveloped? That is a cultural problem. That is the people's problem. That is not the United States problem. Because the people that come here receive an education, right? And they could do more for the people down there by opening up organizations to help them. They don't do it. Uh, Mel says, I want to cut federal aid into other countries that the house back in Africa is never going to get built, and the family always squanders it for more. Yeah, they do. They do. They do. It is a mess. And and my mother's AIDS, right? The ladies always show me the same blue house. I have this beautiful house. I spent $700,000 on buying the house. I'm like, get the hell out of here. I don't say it like that, but I'm thinking, look, I thought it. I didn't say it, but I thought it, right? And they're like, well, yeah, because I'm rich. I'm rich. I'm like, again, a house doesn't mean that you're rich. That means that you're constantly taking out the fixed stuff. That is not wealth. That's the like you just, laying your head. Now, if you got people in there and they're paying you rent, that's something a little different. You could get a little bit here, a little bit there, and then you use whatever to fix the house. But you're gonna leave it alone. I'm gonna leave that alone right there. But the countries are still underdeveloped. Why? So now, now that you have people that have been here for a little while, can go back home forcefully, not willingly, but forcefully, and then they can work hard and develop their own country, their own country with the skills what they learned up here, right? They can do that. They don't want to do it because they were eating steakums, and now they have a T-bone steak, and you cannot take a person from eating T-bone steaks back to eating steakums. So here's my proposal. It took me a while to get here, but I wanted to lay down a good foundation, right? Here's my proposal. Have people go to the country that is closest to them, that they're culturally the same. So when they leave their country to go to another country, they're still at the same base level, right? If uh, you want not, if you see not. So if you didn't see it, you don't want it, right? But you can't bring people from Haiti or from Cameroon and bring them to the United States and then send them back. They don't want to go. They're playing, oh my goodness, got all these excess. Oh my goodness, you got so many different coffee shops. You got all these different restaurants. You got people from around the world. It's a melting pot. I don't want to melt with. I'm not buying anything over there because I eat my own cultural food. All that going on there, right? And man, that right there is in my uh, email says China has restrictions on foreign holding properties and private. I'm sorry, prevents foreign workers from sending money overseas. Yeah, yes, yes. The money is supposed to stay in the country. The United States is one of the few dumbass countries that allows that to happen, allows people to come to extract, to take resources, and then to have babies. Oh man, let me just go ahead and get into this birthright citizenship because I'm etching to it now. Okay, look, birthright citizenship has nothing to do with illegal immigrants. Zero, zero. And I don't know who started to bend the Constitution and make federal laws to allow people to do that because the 14th Amendment is only about making the children of slaves, and that's what Donald Trump said. He said the 14th Amendment, birthright citizenship, birthright citizen, is only about the children of slaves because they were property, not even to be looked upon as human. It took five slaves or five black people to make one white person, right? Vaughn says literally communist. Okay. So Trump, as much as people dislike him, fine. But what he's doing to protect the American people, what he's doing to protect the Constitution, he has a lot of pushback because a lot of people have not taken time to read the Constitution. So when you have these socialists and these communists, and they have this dream of what it's supposed to be, now it's a good dream until until it's implemented. It's always that. Oh, the plan is great until you implement it. Implementation is where the devil is in the details and it's going to fall flat on its face because there's so many contingencies that you did not think about, right? So, okay. But the birthright citizenship is only about Black Americans. Now, what surprised me? What surprised me? Now, who was it? Who three three Republican um conservative. This is what got me. Conservative justices. And I was surprised that Clarence Thomas did it. I was surprised that Amy, oh my goodness, Amy Corbett Cope. Wait a minute, what's her name? List of SCOTUS. Okay. Oh, I did not mean to go back to 1789. Oh my goodness, I didn't mean to go back that far. Just this year, 2026. Okay. Not the alerts. I'm sorry, this is not working out the way I wanted to. All right, come on, where is it? Okay. I'm sorry, I'm failing miserably. I'm trying to do this quickly, and the Philippines require email says the Philippines require foreigners to partner up with natives to own property. That's interesting, man. Because the Philippines was a U.S. Territory, and so they're like, I don't like what you did. You left us out here hanging while Japan came over and just decimated us, and you allowed it to happen because we only had five white people. That's it. And that's what the United States does. If you don't have enough white people or called heritage Americans there, they're not going to protect you. And the heritage Americans that are there, and you're not there in great numbers, screw you. Hey, I'm just saying what they do. Vaughn says the United States is not the it's not the Philippines. Thank God. No, the Philippines was a part of the U.S. colony or the U.S. empire. It was until they're like, look, like I said, I don't like what how you let the Japanese just do anything to us instead of helping us. You only went to Hawaii and screwed us over. Vaughn says, not yet. I don't know how I can no, I can't. I have to be on StreamYard to do that. I got to be. Let's see. Hey Vaughn, can I make you a oh no, you already are. Okay. All right. And email says other first world countries like Australia got rid of policies similar to birthright because they do not want to become a target migration. Well, they already are. They already are. But Australia is not free. They're still under the crown. So whatever Britain says, Australia has to do. Now, the British Empire or the royal family, they have like a hands-off policies, and they give you um, rule, allow you to rule to a certain extent. Like in Jamaica and the Caribbean, under the British Crown, you can't even execute anybody without the king's signature. It's wild. It's really wild. It really is. Oh, email says, oh, true. Yeah. So, let me see. Where was I? So back to birthright citizenship. Now, what the Supreme Court did, they didn't follow the Constitution at all. They didn't. They followed what was more expedient to them. Now, this right here lets you know that there's really not much of a big difference between a Democrat and a Republican. Keep in mind, Donald Trump or President Trump was a lifelong Democrat for a very long time. So if you really look at pay attention to his policies, because he's an old school Democrat, meaning smaller government, right? Well, he sort of like expanded it, he's went the opposite direction, but you got to look at the people that are around him, right? Look at the people that are around him. Look at the policies that he's making, and also many heritage Americans are very pissed off, especially about this birthright citizenship. I'm on TikTok. Oh my goodness. Oh, it's not over. What they did, what Trump did, he devised a executive order to keep women that are pregnant from coming into the country. And the Asians, especially Chinese, they have houses around the United States, namely on the East Coast and in California, where they come in 8 months, 8 months to get ready to deliver, have their baby, get a what do you call a social security number, a birth certificate, the things that they're going to need, and then go back to China until some other date and then come back, right? Well, my ex-in-laws did that. My ex-husband, he has younger brothers and sister. They were born here and then they went to Mexico. Now, my ex-husband's not from Mexico, nor is his mother, but that's a completely different story, right? But that's exactly what a lot of people are doing now. Now they're catching a lot of Africans because now they're like, oh, the Asians are doing that. Let me go ahead and do that too. Especially the richer Africans, they'll come in, especially the rich Nigerians. Let me be very specific. The rich Nigerians um, do that, right? They'll come over close to having their baby, to have their baby, and then go back and then have them come over at some time. Um, I may. Both Democrats and Republicans believe in exploiting the worker, blindly voting for one or the other is foolish. Well, you got to choose one. You really do. Now, if Americans were to be more proactive in understanding government and understanding how the United States works, then it would be a different story because our vote, right, is voting on them to get the job. So if we're like, okay, I want that person, I want them to fill that job. That's exactly what a vote is. Um, Vaughn says, what happens when ICE starts deporting the dark skinned people? They're deporting everybody. Everybody. Look, you got Ukrainians getting deported. You can't get any whiter than a Ukrainian. They are deporting a lot of people. Now, also understand, heritage Americans, um, they are not just one block of white. No, no, they are not. They are ethnically different, just as black people. Jamaicans are ethnically different than Barbados and are what's it called? Achilles, right? Africans. You got 54 countries, and they're all different. And then even within that country, they're still culturally different. You get into tribes. I mean, it gets deep. So, and plus, not only that, the dark skinned people they call. Yeah, I can't believe they did this shit. I'm like, what? My mom had an aide, right? She had a couple of several different aides, and she was very honest. She said, "Man, African people will go ahead and have you deported because there's a lot of internal fighting." Wow. Don't worry about ICE deporting Africans or better yet, dark people. They are going to call ICE on each other. Guarantee you on that one, right? Uh, Emil says, "I'm not black." You're what? Well, you didn't finish that sentence. Let me see. Pull that. Yeah, you didn't finish that. You're what? Oh, uh, Joanne. Yes, Trump is not playing with nobody, including male genetic material, to pay surrogates in China. What? What? China is doing this. Illegal is illegal. What? Oh my goodness! You're over there throwing some stuff on there. What? Mail in mailing genetic material to paste. Get the hell. Nah. Do you have an article on that? Put that down there because I want to read that and report on it because that right there is I believe it. Look, I believe it. I believe it. I believe people will do stuff like that. People do the craziest stuff, right? I believe it. But the birthright citizenship has got heritage Americans. Woo! Oh, it's going down. It is going down. And you know what I'm gonna be doing? I'm gonna be reporting on it. I went through TikTok to get some clips that I'm gonna use to show what's going on now. You had I gotta find that clip again, but this Heritage American said that the United States is becoming too dark, and the Heritage Americans' birth rate is at zero, especially other Heritage Americans are marrying people of color. So that right there just, takes the white out and adds more than white. So there's a lot of stuff going on, and they are pissed. They are pissed. And I get it. I do. Because, places like Cameroon, they don't have birthright citizenship. They don't. If you're not from there, you don't get it. You simply don't. You can't go and have a baby. You can't go on a plane, fly over there, get out, start working, and then have a baby. You can have a baby there, but the baby has zero rights to any benefits. They get nothing, nothing at all. They might not even get a birth certificate. They'll sit there and email you. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. I'm joking. Email says, I was I just always hear the comment people saying that they are not black but just Jamaican Nigeria. No, they are. No, they are. Um, they are not black. They are not. The 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 United States is the only country that has people that identifies as black. That has black on. Look, I had black on my ID. Um, Hell, I had black on my birth certificate, right? Until they start changing things. But Jamaicans are Jamaicans, Nigerians are Nigerians, Haitians are Haitians. They are not black people. They are not. They have a nationality. And what they are ethnically in these countries, now that's something different, right? It gets different. You have different black Indians over there. You have a lot of Asians over there. So it gets a little, but they're not black. They are not. Now they're saying that they're black. And this happened just like 5 years ago. I remember talking to people. Are you black? I'm not black. I'm Haitian. I'm Jamaican. I'm this. I'm that. I'm not black. And then have a scrunch up their face. Oh wait a minute. Let me get it right. Oh my goodness. They would scrunch up their face and talk smack to you in your face, right? See, okay, I already saw that one. But keep an eye out on this stuff because if they lost on the Supreme Court, believe me, They're finding other ways. They're finding other ways. And now here's a wild part. Here's a wild part. Excuse me. They are currently removing a lot of these politicians. The uh, the the Congressional Black Caucus. They are being removed, but understand this: many of the Congressional Black Caucus are not Black Americans. They're not. They are mostly Caribbeans. Just pay attention to that. Just pay attention to what's going on. And matter of fact, this right here got me. I think this was in Tennessee or Kentucky. Wait a minute. You had a mayor. They voted a mayor, and that was an illegal immigrant that became mayor. You can't make this sugar honey iced tea up at all. You can't make it up. You can't. Um, Jawad, the rich do it by cryogenics, and their children are legal in America. Trump is Trump this time not stupid, but if Trump allows this, it will die in transport. Okay, all right. Okay, interesting. If you could give me an article on it, copy and paste and put it into the chat, I would love to take a look at it. Now, that's a quite an interesting. That's interesting. But that's birthright citizenship there. So let's see what happens. But someone mentioned. Let me go back. Someone mentioned the Jeff Jeffrey EpiPen file and how that nothing is coming of it. Now there are people that are above Trump's pay grade. Now keep in mind, Trump is the one that he is given something to vote on, and then what not vote on, but signs his signature, and then actually do what he's told to do. Please keep that in mind. Please, the power is not Trump. The power is Congress. That is where all the power lies. Now, Trump gets all the heat, but not Congress. Okay? Please, the power is in Congress. Trump only signs it and does what they tell him to do. That's it. That's why you have three different branches. Um, Cut off the federal aid, restrict the. Come on, let's see what else. The power lies with BB. Oh yeah, yeah. And understand this. BB has lost a lot of his power. Oh, a lot of his power. You're going to see the whole world turn on BB and his people. It's going to be quite interesting to watch because it's happening now. Right now, what is it? Oh man, they give all the money to the politicians. The politicians take that money out and then do the will of of the people, right? Even they are losing a lot of influence, and people are calling them out. So they are, how can I say, a temporary irritant. Ever since Jeffrey EpiPen is no longer here, or he's here, but he's vacationing someplace, and they're not going to use him anymore, and all that blackmail stuff that they had with these politicians and doing some weird stuff. Yeah, Vaughn, it is obvious, and then if you pay, matter of fact, in DC, I was looking at what the city council was voting on, and a lot of them would vote for what is in interest to BB and his cronies, and they go to different big American cities, and they put forth legislation that would benefit them. Just take a look at it. And and then the politicians who are taking that money because they're greedy, greedy, greedy people, and they don't put the people um, best interest before BB and his cohorts. And you're right, it's painfully obvious. It is. Let me see. Somebody else said something that now that I think about it, I can address. Emil said China has restrictions on foreigners. Yeah, that right there is true. Now, here's the interesting thing. You have Middle Eastern countries. It's not Afghanistan because they eat like a lot of alfalfa. Now, in Arkansas, they have land to grow alfalfa for them. And they have water restrictions in their country because they're in a freaking desert, right? They're in a desert and the water is not plentiful at all. But they don't want to eat other types of wheat. They want alfalfa, which requires tons and tons of water. And no matter how much water you give it, it's still never enough. So, and plus you have China over there, or the Red Dragon country over there in California, to where they have a secret black labs over there, and it's like, um, Gavin Newsom, why are you allowing the Red Dragon country to have black labs or top secret labs over here on U.S. soil? What's up with that? Why do you have Chinese police stations here on the U.S. soil? We have our own police stations. We don't need yours. And then if you got to open up a police station for your people, stop bringing the damn criminals. That would help a whole lot. Keep them back in your country, put them in jail over there. Don't bring them over here and use them for cheap labor, and then throw them in jail because they're mad for what you're doing. Just a thought, right? So Emil says other first world countries like Australia got rid of police policies similar to the birthright because they did not want to become a target migration. Now, the first one was Sweden. Sweden is done. That is a failed experiment in a failed country. Now, here's the problem. Some people are going to get pissed off. Some of my followers may say, okay, I'm not going to subscribe to you. Okay, I get it. But when you bring people in that are culturally different, right? And they have one way of life, one way, a standard way of living, that's all they know, right? What they do is when they leave because they're watching TV and they see Bay watching, the guys are like, I'm gonna get her. I'm gonna get Pamela Anderson Lee. She's gonna marry me when she sees me and all this manliness. But I don't know. I'm just making that up, right? But they watch TV. This is how they do mental gymnastics. This is crazy. They watch TV and say that is what America is. And I like all that shiny, 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 flashy, flashy, flashy. And I can make all that money because I'm me and I can do it because I work hard, right? And they have that culture. Now, they, a lot of people who come here do not even consider adopting the American culture. Now, you like the United States so much, you like the culture so much to where you'll upleave your resources, your gold mines, Colbert, whatever you call it, uranium, your oil. You leave everything, every resource that can make your country money for you to get up and come over here to have the dollar bill that is only backed by trees, right? Crazy stuff. To have a standard of life to where you're living off a damn credit. Make that make sense, right? And then you bring your culture over, and your culture is completely different. I mean, like you got people that marry children. I mean, the craziest stuff. You're like, wait a minute, you keep that shit over there. got honor killings. I don't like that that my daughter is walking down the street next to a guy that is not of my approval, of my culture. You don't look like you're too dark or you too light. Well, no, if you're too light, that's fine. But but because you didn't listen, I'm gonna eliminate my daughter, and the whole family's like, yes, it's wild. It's wild. So then they bring their culture with them. Don't adopt the U.S. culture, not at all. Oh, well, no, the U.S., the culture, you don't have a culture. My culture's better. Well, damn it. If your culture was so good, how comes you're not over there in your culture making a go of it? Okay? I mean, I'm just saying, okay? You know what I'm saying is true. That's why you're here. Being the best, whatever part of where you come from, you're being at the best part of that in the United States. Make that make sense. Just make it make sense. Like, look, I see why my mom's age stays mad at me all the time. Oh man, he comes out. He says he has high blood pressure. I mean, he's getting ready to have a stroke, a heart attack, all sorts of things, right? And he goes, "Well, Cameroon is a land of milk and honey. It is the best culture." And I said, "So let me make sure let me make sure I understand you. You're saying that Cameroon is the best country, and you're the best Cameroonian in America. Does that make sense? Do you see Americans saying dumbass shit like that? I'm the best American in Cameroon." You all don't think. You don't think at all. You just say the craziest things to hold on to pride, whatever cultural pride you may have, and you should. But don't be bashing other people because you have a certain pride and for your country and for your culture, but not being in your culture. You're in somebody else's culture and you're not even adhering to the culture that you go to. I mean, it is nuts. It's nuts. It really is nuts. And then you got to stop and say, does this make any sense? Um, Tristan Miller, hey, how you doing? Tristan Miller says, I love politics on CNN and Fox News. Well, I don't know about that. I mean, you know, some people say that they're left leaning. I don't know. I don't know. It's a bit messy. If you really want some good news, go on redozone.com, right? They have the world's newspapers. They have over 8,000 newspapers. Check that out. You'd be surprised. Check that out. All right. But but this politics right here, it's gonna how can I say? I want to make sure I say it right. It's gonna pit Americans against Americans. Well, wait a minute, let me back up first. It's gonna pit Americans against what is it? Illegal immigrants. It's gonna pit Americans against TPS holders. It's going to be immigrant against Americans. I see it happening. It's going to get really, really funky. It's going to get really funky. And I'm going to just say to you, be careful. Be careful because it's going to get wild. Emil says, I did meet a Haitian who believes that the U.S. owes them money because they blame us for the earthquake. Nah, actually, I did a term paper on that about 16 years ago. Uh-uh. That was Canada. Canada and Sweden. Those two countries were down there in Haiti drilling. It was, oh, what is it called? Oh my goodness. Man, it's here, but it's not coming out here. Geothermal. Geothermal. That's where they were digging in. And they went down to the plate and they not cracked the plate, but they aggravated the plate, Then it caused a big earthquake. Now, if you don't believe me, go back to, was it 2004, 2003 in Sweden, and they were digging in Sweden, and the same thing happened. Don't believe me? Look it up for yourself. Look it up for yourself. Okay, don't believe me, but that's what it was. They were drilling down there, went too far to get the natural gas that's way down there, and Haiti has a lot of stuff. It has a lot of stuff. France keeps you poor. Your division keeps you poor. Your fighting keeps you poor. You don't even come together. You're hating each other keeps you poor. That's the, I'm just, it is what it is, right? So let me finish. Earthquakes, and that is her reason why she is living in the United States, the same country that wronged her. That right there is mental gymnastics, and that's what I was talking about. How you have people that say, "Hey, you owe me. You ought to give me something because your country did this. So because your country did this, I should come over and get a free ride." No, no, no. You can't sit here and say, "Hey, because your country wronged me, you ought to make my life easier." Look, if Black Americans don't get it, you don't get it. Okay? Don't even start that. Oh, 1804, 1804, but you never talk about 1825. You never talk about that. I find that quite interesting. I really do. You had 21 years of freedom, and then France turned the corner, came back, and bam. You never talk about that. And still under the rule. I'm just saying. I know people gonna get pissed off at me. Oh my goodness. Okay, Treston Miller says America needs a new political system. Um, Before we get to a new American system, we need Americans with backbones. Americans are too soft, way too soft. I remember growing up to where you could fall off of a bike, hurt yourself, you get right back up and keep on riding. We were American strong. Now everybody has to win. No one can lose. Competition is out the door. No, there's no competition. There's none of that. Uh, Everybody has to win. Cheating and being ignorant is a new thing. Being stupid. Now, there's a difference between being dumb and being stupid, right? Being dumb is how you're born. Let me give you a quick example. You're absent-minded, right? And you just say some of the craziest things, and that right there is how you were born. You're dumb, right? But stupid is a willful act of not knowing. That is a choice. You chose to get up and say, "I'm not going to absorb any information today. My day is going to be filled with ignorance, and I'm going to be willfully ignorant. I'm just going to be damn stupid," right? Let me see. Uh, Emil says, "At least an Indian student who despises the British Empire." What? What? No. Wait a minute. Let me finish this. Wait a minute. Indian Empire, for what they did to her country, and Kenya decided to study in the U.S. Nah, I'm going to tell you something about Indians. East Indians, or what is it called? Hindustan, right? They're called Hindustan. No. Uh-uh. They gained their freedom in what was it, 1940, 46, 47, somewhere around there. And they said, let me go back under English rule. That's exactly what they did. They did all that pacifist fighting, getting beat up, getting all fought up, you know, getting hit upside the head, going there and go getting all the salt from the sea, bringing it over. make it, wearing European clothes. You're not wearing your Indian clothes. You try to make your skin lighter. The whiter you are, the more accepted you are. Nah, no. Now you may have one. That person right there is not the rule. They're the outlier, not the rule. Okay. Everybody else. Okay. Look at Vivek Ramaswamy. Check him out. He was dumping all over Black Americans, right? And he was a hardcore racist until he met Megyn Kelly. Megan said, "I'm not voting for you because you're Indian." I mean, she just came out and said it. She took a little pin, boop, his ego went. Shh. Ever since then, he been catching strays left and right. But the Indian Empire, nah. Oh, ah, Vivek, yeah. It's not only Vivek and Nikki Haley. She's Indian and she passes for white. And she was able to get into the United States during the Immigration Act after when Black Americans were able to get the civil rights. That's when they start allowing Indians and darker people coming into the United States during the Black Americans fighting for what is owed and what is right. And then the immigrants came in on proxy and was able to get a lot of stuff that Black Americans have fought for. So Nikki Haley, Kamala Harris, oh, she's another one. But she went the opposite way. She's like, sister girl. I'm like, no, you're not. No, bye. No, 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 Kamala. No. But India, no. They are what you will call submissively white. Submissively white, and they have an affinity to whiteness, and a lot of Indians would say, well, whatever happened, Indians died, so they sacrificed their life for the greater good. The greater good of what? What? Losing your land again that you gave to. It's nuts. It's completely nuts. It is. And if you really want to see something, look, look at Laura Loomer. She went over to India, right? I'm like, oh my, they have no self-respect. Oh my goodness, this is crazy. No self-respect. Laura Loomer, she tells you that she's a racist. I don't know why she was trying to. She's Jewish, and she was trying to get with this German guy that had I don't know, some type of um, I don't want to say Nazi. I don't want to say that, but towards some hate groups, right? And she's trying to push up on him. I'm like, look, Laura, wait a minute, wait a minute, what's going on? Whatever happened to Never Forget? Whatever happened to that? You forgot? Okay. Um, Tristan Miller says they take our American tech jobs. No, 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 no. Well, okay, yes, but they take. Okay, how can I say this? How can I say this? Um, Indians do not want to overthrow anything, right? What they want to do is to maintain the status quo. The status quo is you're not going to try to buck against the system. You're going to uphold the system. Now, understand this. You don't have to be white to uphold white supremacy, right? You just have to uphold it. Now, I'm going to tell you, a lot of Caribbeans, you uphold white supremacy. A lot of you Africans, namely Cameroonians, uphold white supremacy. You uphold it because you get something out of it. You get trinkets. But you don't quite understand that you think that you're getting something by being on the side of help perpetuating, help help promoting, help doing all these things and not realizing that you're being wrapped into the same cord as everybody else. And now you're starting to see it because you're getting deported, your TPS is status, and what you were needed for is over because you were needed for to go against Black Americans. And that right there is simply what it is. And those of you who are immigrants and your first generation, go back to what your mom and dad told you. Don't be around those Black people. They're bad influence. Be honest. Be honest. You don't got to say it here, but just be honest what was said. Be honest how you grew up. Be honest with how your parents and extended parents from these different countries come in with their their anti-black ways to uphold white supremacy. Okay, and again, you don't have to be white. You don't. Uh, Emil says mostly by outsourcing. My Indian professor has helped me get a scholarship, so I think he's okay. You could have got a scholarship on your own. There's a lot of money. You can go to churches. Heck, you could go on over to Giant, Safeway. They all give out scholarships because they have to give back to the community. There's a lot of money out there, and just because he helped you get a scholarship, it doesn't mean that he may not feel that way, and it doesn't mean that he does feel that way. It's a double-edged sword. But as a whole people, yes. But when you pick out individuals, no. I mean, I know some cool Indian people, really good Indian people, but you all always have those Coonigises, the COONs. You have always have those amongst you. Now, if you were to call them out and say, "Hey, look, there's a Coonagis over there, a COONs," call them out, and things will be a lot better. So if we were to unite, and I'm telling you, this is quite interesting. There are a lot of white people that are pissed off, or heritage Americans that are pissed off with what's going on, and it's getting ready to go down. It is, and they don't like what's going on, and they're going to straighten themselves out amongst themselves, and those people that have racist tendencies, they're going to get some straightening. Oh, they're getting it. Look on TikTok. It's something. It is wild. It is wild. Let me see. Oh man. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to close it up here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to live stream some more. I'm going to live stream some more. I really don't like going through all that editing. Ah, man, it's a pain. But pre-recorded. I could do both live stream, pre-recorded. Okay, but I know you don't care about that. But look, on that note, I do want to thank you for stopping by. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your engagement, Vaughn. You're cool like that. Bye bye. Okay. What's it? Oh, okay. Uh oh. Uh oh. Okay. Bye bye. I completely messed up something. Oh my goodness! I completely messed up. Where is it? Where is it? Oh my god.